Hello everybody, welcome to AKB Hub. Today we'll discuss about the long answer type questions of chapter 1 biology, that is the leaf and the flower, ICSE course standard 6th. In our previous video we discussed about the objective type questions and very short answer type questions. Today we'll discuss about long answer type question, that is question A, that is your differentiate following. Question number 1 is reticulate venation and parallel venation. You have to differentiate between reticulate venation and your parallel venation. So first one is your reticulate venation, that leaf forms a network of veins. That means in a leaf the veins are arranged in a network. Just you can see the image here I am put. Next, in case of your parallel venation, the veins run parallel to each other. That means in a leaf the veins are parallel to each other. Next point is found in the leaves of dicot plants. Those plants are dicots. On that particular dicot plants the leaves have the reticulate venation. It is, but in case of your parallel venation, it is found in the leaves of monocot plant. Those plants are monocots. On that plants the leaves have the parallel venation. That the examples are people, banyan and mango trees have the reticulate venation, and many other examples are there. But in case of parallel venation, examples are banana, rice and grass. So this is all about the differences between the reticulate venation and your parallel venation. Next, move to your question number 2, that is your simple and compound leaves. So what is the simple leaves? The leaves blade is undivided. The leaves blade, or you may say the lamina, is undivided. But in case of your compound leaves, the leaves blade is divided into your leaflets. Next, another difference is lateral buds are occurs or present in case of your simple leaves, but in case of your compound leaves, lateral buds does not occurs. Next, the examples are of simple leaves are guava, black cherry and mango, but in case of your compound leaves, rose and neem, etc. Next is, this is the example of your simple leaf and this is your examples of your compound leaves. Next, move to your question number 3, that is your difference between self-pollination and cross-pollination. First point of self-pollination is same flowers or another flower of the same plant. That means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma either of the same flower or another flower of the same plant, that is known as your self-pollination. But in case of your cross-pollination, two flowers of the same species of two different plants, flowers are same, species is same. That means if we discuss about that, if the one plant is hibiscus, another plant may be hibiscus, but if the two different plants, not in the same plant, two different plants are there, that means the pollination is known as your cross pollination. Same flower but two different plants, that is known as your cross pollination. Next, no external agency is required. That means in case of self pollination, agency here means air, water, insect, human being and animals, etc. are the agents. They can help to carry the pollination process. But in case of self pollination, no external agency are required. But in case of cross pollination, external agency are required, such as your air medium or water medium or insect medium or anything else. So this is the diagram of self pollination. Here look, this is only one flower. This is your from anther to the stigma, your transfer of your pollen grains. But in case of your cross pollination, you can see the diagram here. This is one flower, this is another flower of two different plants, that is known as your cross pollination. This is all about your difference between your self pollination and cross pollination. Next, move to your question number 4, that is your pollination and your fertilization. So what are the difference between fertilization and pollination? First one is your pollination, the transfer of male gametes and female gametes. That means pollination means transfer, but fertilization means the fusion of male gametes and female gametes. Sorry, here not is it the garments, but it is gametes. Next is your external agency required. In case of your pollination, external agency is required, but in case of your fertilization, no external agency is required. That means in case of your pollination, air, water, insect may be needed, but in case of your fertilization, but that means for the process of fertilization, there is no external agency is required. So this is the example, or image of the diagram. The pollination, transfer of pollen grains by the insect here from one flower to another flower, that is your pollination. But in case of your fertilization, this is your pollen grain move to your the ovary. Then this process is known as your fertilization process. So this is all about your difference between pollination and your fertilization. Remember one point, this is the type mistake, that is here is in garment, but actually it is your gametes. Check it when it is type mistake. Next, move to your fifth question, that is your difference between dry fruits and fleshy fruits. So what are the difference between dry fruits and your fleshy fruits? Dry fruits contains a dry and hard pericarp. That means dry fruits, what are the dry fruits? It may contain the dry and hard pericarp. But in case of your fleshy fruits, contain a fluffy and your soft pericarp. In case of your dry fruits, there is no layers. That means there are, in case of your fleshy fruits, there are 3 layers, but in case of your dry fruits, there is, you cannot determine the layers. So this is the examples of not this is, that means it is your diagram for your dry fruits, and this is the diagram for your fleshy fruits or soft fruits, you may say. Next, move to your question number 6, that is your difference between epiphyseal germination and hypogeial germination. So what is the difference between epiphyseal germination and hypogeial germination? Germination of a plant takes place above the ground. That means whatever germination is occurred, it will be occurred above the ground. But in case of hypogeial germination, germination of plant that takes place below the ground. Next, cotyledon emerge out of the soil. Whatever the cotyledon is present, it will be emerge out of the soil. But in case of your hypogeial germination, cotyledon remain same in the soil. Examples is beans of your epiphyseal germination. The example of hypogeial germination is your peas. So this is the example of epiphyseal germination. You can see here, this is the cotyledon which is above your ground level or above the soil. Here it is the example diagram of your hypogeial. You can see the cotyledon which is present below the soil. Clear? So this is all about your differentiate between the some questions. I hope this video will help you to understood about the differentiate between of the epiphyseal germination, hypogeial germination, pollination, and your fertilization, etc. Thank you.